Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Hades 2, and last time we had what was our last run that we needed on the surface. At least we have all the crafting resources we need for that at the moment. The other thing is that we finished a run with the last remaining weapon aspect, and in doing so, we finished the Bearing Dark Gifts achievement / prophecy, and we've been working toward that for a long time, so that was very good to check that off as well. It does, however, mean there isn't a lot else for us to do in the meantime as we are working toward the new true ending. It's going to be a whole bunch of underworld runs now in a row, which we had deliberately set up so that we could see them closer together and have a better sense of what is happening from one run to the next. But it means, I mean, sure, we can take the bonus bones weapon, but besides that, there aren't many other side objectives for us to work toward, at least until we finish that true ending, since many of these other things that we were previously working toward, like locating the fates. Oh, I guess we can still do this. We recently learned about this from Medea, and we don't really know what this is all about, so alright. I suppose there's something to be said for that.
Ensure that each is whole, its strength secure, as we hold out against our common foe. To achieve victory, we must endure the ravages on us time would bestow. So mote it be.
So mote it be. I think we have seen that before, but didn't want to interrupt it just in case. Okay, so the other thing is that we have somewhat recently gotten the upward direction for the Knights Champion done. So we now need a 16 fear run in the Underworld to get the next tier of Knights Champion complete. I'll be honest, as I've said many times before, it'd be nice to get that, but it's not really our primary concern right now. So I'm thinking for the time being, we'll probably just go fearless until we get the new true ending. Hopefully that means that it's a fairly low risk run for the next several ones, which is in large part because it's going to take a lot longer, a lot more runs to get to the new true ending than I had originally thought that it would. And that means I have some concerns about having enough time to record that many videos. So that's priority numero uno, is just make sure that we can get to see the new true ending. And then after that, then we can start to do the nice to have but not need to have sorts of things, like, okay, maybe then we try to do a 16 fear run in the Underworld and hopefully still have time to check off some of those other side objectives that we were working toward before that we were just looking at the list of prophecies. So that means, sure, it'll be fairly simple from here on out, at least until we get to that new true ending, but I think that's fine. We can mess around a little bit with some weapon aspects that we haven't used as much of, or that we just think are fun. Like, I do enjoy the aspect of Charon. We have, however, used it a whole lot, especially in those higher fear runs, so if we're going low/no fear, then we don't have to be as concerned about doing everything in a perfectly optimized way. So I know we have the aspect of Nurgle active right now. I don't remember when we last used it, but I know we've used it at least once, maybe only once. Possibly twice, but it was fun if I remember correctly, and obviously it was the last axe aspect that we unlocked, so maybe we stick with that here. And then we have generally been using the jeweled palm a lot as of late, and we had, at least initially, combined it a lot with one of the fear factors that made one of our boons always get onionified at the beginning of each floor, and that meant fewer boons that benefit from the jeweled palm. But with no fear, that means we can really benefit from this, and it is very strong in that case, I think we've come to see. And we can potentially, since we'll be at the Fate's Whim, get, should be enough encounters, I think, to max this out if we use that for floor 2. So that's another thing. We can try to rank up some keepsakes that we haven't used as often. That's another little side objective, I suppose.
Excellent.
We do have Fate's Whim, and yes, I guess that pretty much confirms things here. Okay, so I think this will do in that case. And in terms of familiar, I mean, I guess you could also say that's something that we could mix up a little bit since we do use Golly an awful lot. Oh, one other thing, actually, before we do that, is that we are getting awfully close to the point where we can max out all of our weapon aspects, to the point where we might have all the Nightmare we need for that, but I honestly don't know. So I'd kind of like to just finish off upgrading some of these to see if we do still have any use for Nightmare beyond just the aesthetic character skins or familiar skins that are purely optional and don't have any gameplay mechanics in them. So let's just see.
Revol Awaken.
how close we are
What would
exactly.
Mother have done?
Because it affects things like, okay, what are we going to spend our bones on when we get back to the crossroads? What about Charon shipments? All that stuff. Because we do still have some,
Let our bond grow
that doesn't
strong.
even cost Nightmare, nor does this version.
Our bond
But,
is only true.
we do still have some Arcana cards that we've yet to max out, so in some ways it would be nice to be able to use bones and Charon shipments to get some of the resources for that, rather than just dedicating most/all of those resources toward getting more Nightmare.
Xynth, reveal your secrets.
So I think it's pretty
Draw
close.
the power from the silver
But this is
sea.
our reality
Dark
check
power of
here.
Nyx, now in my hands.
And that does also give us a little bit of insights as to which weapon aspects we obviously have not seen at their full power just yet, and maybe that also is a good indicator of which ones we've not used as often, like Aspect of Nyx. I think we've very rarely used. Aspect of Lunui we have quite a bit. That was obviously the first one. Let's see. Aspect of Anubis, that might be the only one we have left here, and maybe not a coincidence that that is the one that still remains. It is more expensive, typically, the hidden aspects, 2 Nightmare per upgrade, and then I think the last one costs 3. So it does look like we still need a little more Nightmare for that. Let's double check real quick what our current... Actually, do we know what our current Charon shipment is? I think it was Moondust, not Nightmare on this occasion, but I also think that we stockpiled a fair bit of bones, because at the time we weren't sure if we needed Nightmare or if we needed more Moondust, so sure. I guess we can go with that here. That might allow us to just upgrade the Aspect of Anubis one more time. Insert Daft Punk quote here.
Let our bond grow strong.
That means, well, you have 5 Nightmare total that I think we need. 2 for this, which is the penultimate upgrade, and then 3 for the final. So, good to know. We're close, but we're not quite there just yet. And that also does mean, I mean, if you no longer have much of a need for Nightmare, then suddenly there are various game mechanics that feel less meaningful. Like, the main reason for boosting up the fear has been to farm Nightmare. The Knight's Champion has been just sort of a little side benefit of sorts. And that's why, without as much of a need for Nightmare, it doesn't feel as much like we need to be pushing the fear every time. But let's hop in. Maybe we'll throw on... Let's see, with this weapon aspect, where we just spam... Wait, I need to remind myself how it works exactly. Is it... Ooh. What is it that gets the combo going? Heavy attacks and charge special deal damage in wide area. Oh, it's only once we become Berserk that we... Is it? Wait, hold on. No, okay, it's the light melee combo that does the ground pound slam. That's what I was looking for. That's the fun part. And so I am curious what might work best with that. I mean, offensively, it would be Rocky, one would think. Yeah, it is a bit of a slow-ish combo, so having defensive stuff is certainly not a bad idea, but what the heck?
Ready or not.
We have no fear in this run. We're jumping in. Guns blazing.
Headmistress, guide me.
And we get our Dash Strike. Surrounds foes with a punishing sweep that inflicts scorn, which makes enemies take 30% increased damage from attacks and specials for 10 seconds. That's pretty useful, since this is probably going to be an attack and special-oriented run. And Poseidon, I don't know how we feel about Poseidon on this run, since he does a lot of knockback stuff, which is great for crowd control, but especially if we're trying to do the light melee combo like this. Are we going to accidentally knock enemies out of our area of effect, so it's not as effective? Maybe.
What shall attempt to put horrendous Typhon down for good? He can't be reasoned with, recuperates his strength night after night, and has us cornered like a sturgeon in a net. But unlike fish, we can fight tirelessly back.
All right, a fitting metaphor for him. Okay, we might just take the special here. Obviously, it is by far the highest rarity. As I was saying, cast, I think, is not going to be as big as the attack and special are. That'd be kind of nice, but keep it simple here. Okay. So yeah, we want to try to seek out as many boons as we possibly can to maximize the benefits from you. And just double check, what exactly are the percentages for this? We have an innate 4% crit chance. And then if we hit the marked enemies, it's an additional 15% crit chance. Okay, now admittedly, that was maybe not the best enemy to dash strike. Would be a better enemy to do the light melee combo on, to be honest. As long as he doesn't pick the brambles, go right up next to us.
Enough.
Okay, enough of that nonsense. I think early Hermes is so often so good. The thing that's making me hesitate is that most of his boons, if not all of his boons, are not level up-able, and therefore do not benefit from the Jeweled Palm. Probably is still worth going that route, and then just thinking about what the benefits of setting Aphrodite precedent would be. She has one of, if not the highest, damage boons for attacks. So that's pretty tempting from that standpoint. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I think that one was a crit. Also, if we anticipate where the enemies are spawning in, our animation is long enough, the area of effect is big enough, and in that time we can basically set ourselves up to take them down immediately.
We goddesses always get swept up in these family affairs through no fault of our own. I had no prior qualm with Kronos, yet here I am now, well at war with him.
Okay, so, as we've said many times before, rare is an awkward rarity, because it is not rarifiable later on with the Narcissus Keepsake, so I almost feel like I would rather have seen this either be common or be epic, and then on the next floor, if we get a common rarity attack boon from Aphrodite on this floor, then we can use Narcissus Keepsake to rank it up quickly, but if we don't, we can use the other Fate's Whim Keepsake to give us a way to rarify either Aphrodite boons or other boons, and that way we can forcibly make it be higher rarity. So I'm thinking I do really like this Magic Restoration, especially since we're probably going to be close to enemies almost all the time. Okay, then I think given how we now have Magic Restoration, we can prioritize this. Ooh, you did still get me there. Okay. Ooh, I would have totally missed that. So yeah, then there's, as we were saying with the Nightmare, we are close to, but not quite at the point where Nightmare no longer matters. But we are almost certainly at that point for the various crafting resources. The nice thing with the other crafting resources, though, is, of course, that you can always sell that stuff for the kudos in town. Which I guess is probably the case for Nightmare as well, though we have not yet had reason to do that. Please stop chasing me.
Out of my
Thank
sight.
you, shield. I think that is maybe the first time that we've actually had reason to, well, I have made a point of using it, and it has actually benefited us directly. Ooh. Usually it's a mini-boss immediately after Arachne, so to have mini-boss or Arachne is a little out of the ordinary. It would be Ares. Not entirely sure which type of boons we would be most interested in getting from him. Otherwise, I mean, Arachne, kind of similarly to Hermes, there are some ways in which it can benefit you long-term if you get it early, but it does, of course, require that you play a little bit defensively. So, sure, I guess we'll do it. No promises that we're gonna finish the entire run with the dress on that she provides us. And a fair bit of gold. As it turns out. Oh,
Go.
Help yourself.
along with several other resources as well. Meanwhile, Arachne's just like, can you just leave my place alone?
My friend, I truly hate to ask, but you don't suppose, knowing your craft, you don't suppose there might still be some way to turn me back into myself again, do you?
Okay, now this is really interesting. Because this is something that we were trying to do before. When we were in the original timeline, we weren't turning back the clock for the new true ending. And I had assumed that, like many of the other side quests of sorts, that this was not possible to progress in this alternate timeline. But it absolutely seems as though we are progressing it here. I don't know if you can't conclude it. Maybe you can do everything in this alternate timeline. Maybe you can only have the first few conversations, but we had deliberately, forcibly made Athena show up on this floor using her keepsake specifically to try to prompt a conversation like this with Arachne, and seemingly nothing happened at the time. But now, for whatever reason, the conversation's taking place.
Arachne, I've tried everything I know. This curse of metamorphosis upon you, it's extremely powerful. Such change is irreversible as far as I can tell. I'm sorry.
Unless we can get Athena to show up here. Maybe.
It's quite all right. Just figured I would ask. Such curses wouldn't be much good if they could just be waved away, now would they?
Her eyes. Okay. Cast damage, channel faster, gives us armor, and a fate fabric. So I'm going to be honest, none of these feel incredibly useful for us. This is maybe the most useful. I mean, as I said, we're not expecting to be a cast build. Yeah, sure, channel faster. It's more so the light melee combo that I'm looking to set up, and that's technically not a channeled move. So might just go for this. Originally, that was our go-to more often than not. Okay, and yes, it is still mini boss. I think we go here, and we see if we can get that high rarity attack boon from Aphrodite. Gives us another chance, and if it, again, just gives us rare attack, then maybe we'll pass on it again. Just cross our fingers that Aphrodite will show up later on when we'll be better equipped to rarefy it with some sort of keepsake. And there's no real benefit to keeping the armor anymore.
Let's go.
It was just sort of a one-time use, one-time benefit type of thing with a crafting resource. So, it's nice, defensively, right now. It would help if I could see. It wasn't even like I was in the smoke cloud either. Just found myself getting trapped in the corner. I guess it was technically a little bit of the smoke cloud. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we got hit multiple times there by the little brambles. There is still a bramble dude. And now I think it's just the big guy. Now, stop that. Nope. Now, yeah, you're armorless. Okay.
Let's go.
Much more straightforward. We still at least have some of our armor, but as is often the case when you go into the Arachne room and you see that there's a mini-boss immediately after you go, well, there's a solid chance that we are just going to immediately lose that armor. As I said, it's not really a huge deal at this point because it doesn't have any long-term benefit. But let us
In the name of Hades.
see what we can nab here. Okay, so I think we take this one. It is already epic rarity. Sure, it's technically possible if we were to get a common rarity one that we could make it higher rarity still using Narcissus, or with the rarefying keepsake, we could make it go one tier higher, but this is good enough that I think we can certainly... I mean, it's still really good, so I think we are fine with that. Yeah, especially if you do happen to get a crit with the attack boon, it's already over 1,000 damage, which is kind of insane on the first floor. There you go, it's almost 1,300. That's pretty ridiculous. I don't know if that's with the extra bonus from Scorn or not. Also, when we get Berserk, is it speed or is it damage? It's speed. And also healing. Okay. a decent bit of gold here. We obviously start off with many levels in our boons from the Jeweled Palm, so we're already in a place where we're getting some diminishing returns, but the attack boon is still so important that I think even with diminishing returns, it's still worthwhile. There's a lot of enemies in this encounter. Wow. Oh, I was just starting to have fun with the combo. Okay, so yep, it's still a 10% boost, which is certainly not bad. So I think we take that. And then, okay, so sure, bones are nice, but I think I remember we were running quite low on nectar. Yeah, so I think we should take that, and it is also a palm slice, the equivalent of a palm slice. Oh, and it's one of these rooms. And that was magic restoration. Okay. Not too bad. Oh. Okay, this is kind of awkward timing for Chaos. This is pretty late on this floor, so we'll almost certainly be active for the Hecate fight, but it's just a normal Hecate, not a rival Hecate, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, this is again, palm slice, which is not bad when we only have 3 boons, so it's a pretty high chance that it's going to land on the attack, and if it doesn't even land on the attack, then these are both pretty solid options as backup plans, but we'll go this route nonetheless. Would be nice if it were going in the opposite order, where we take damage going into the Chaos room and then we heal it off immediately with a well, rather than having a completely useless well, but oh well. Or, oh not well.
Able to detect you for some time, but then the Earth itself shuddered, as though an object of very substantial size fell from considerable height. That must have been the being you call Typhon. Did you cause him to fall? Do not respond.
Rhetorical question. Also, I feel like we have heard this before. Let's see. We take more damage for 4 encounters. Afterward, we gain a bunch of life, though. 3 encounters, charge-up moves make us take damage. Afterward, boons gain rarity, which, get that early on, and that can be really nice long-term. Especially alongside the levels we're getting from this. Get both rarity and levels in that case. In all likelihood, at least. Or this, I feel like we already have a really solid magic restoration boon. The rarity and the level makes this very potent. So this feels very unnecessary. I think we do this. And we can get by without using charge moves. I might accidentally charge something up briefly, but I think we can make that work. Ooh. Oh, I didn't even see that. Wow. I would have completely missed that. Was it hiding behind one of those pillars, maybe? Possibly. But this might even be the penultimate room right here. I think it very well could be. So, no time to even progress. I mean, obviously it was not going to evolve by the time we got to Hecate, but not even going to make any progress toward it. I don't think, at least. Hold on. It's been a little while since we've compelled any shades. This is going to be a slow, oh my goodness, extremely slow one. Makes it harder just because you have to think about it a lot more. It feels like you have to think about it. Okay, yes, that is Hecate, confirmed. And we do have enough cash for all these things. I think we take the slice first. Maximize the chance of it landing on something that we like. And that was probably our last choice. Maybe this was our last choice. I don't know. This was definitely the first choice, though, I think. Let's do this. We're looking for primarily attack stuff. If it ends up being special stuff, that's probably okay, but let's see what we can do. Attack is 30% faster. Berserk lasts for 2 seconds longer and restores 1 more life every time we get a hit with it. So this is unique to the hidden aspect, whereas this is the case for even the generic axe, although this is quite tempting. Because just thinking about Berserk giving us extra attack speed plus having 30 attack speed from this, and collectively, that is pretty crazy. So I think we go Rapid Hack, and then obviously if we can see more hammer upgrades in the future, that'd be great, but let's go here as we can. I do like this sprint for damage. or single target damage from this. This is actually very useful for area of effect damage. So all these are good. I am a fan of them. Which one's the highest priority for us? I mean, right now, obviously, this is the most effective because we're about to walk into a boss fight. But... this could be kind of good to... maybe we already have decent area of effect, but we're kind of stuck in place as we're doing the slam attack, especially if we're doing the light melee combo. So this makes us more likely to clear out numerous enemies and functionally make it a little bit safer. We aren't getting cornered as much, even if it is slightly lower rarity. Maybe we will go based on rarity, since we may very well find ourselves taking a keepsake that can rarefy on the next floor. Okay, so no charge moves here.
Forgotten the vow.
Hey, don't call me out like that, okay?
Decided to forego the oath for now. A wise move, like as not. Or evidence of some restraint and circumspection on your part, at least.
Yeah, maybe more so the latter.
My path is treacherous enough as it is. Why make such vows as would reduce my chances of success?
'Tis through adversity that we grow strong. But to your point, you face adversity enough. The oath is there to guarantee you always shall.
And we've used enough of the oath already that we have almost all the benefits to be gained from it.
Consuming flame.
That was almost enough to phase her immediately. Is this the real one? It was not.
Look now.
Now she gets phased.
Return to fight, sisters.
Nope, don't do that, please. That's fake Hecate. That's also fake Hecate. I mean, you're the real Hecate. Basically immediately phased. Okay, speaking of immediately phased, we'll go no nonsense here. Just get turned into a pig as soon as possible. Okay, but it would be nice if you were to transform me back pretty soon. There we go. Oh, hold on. That must have been a crit. I think. I don't know. The damage is already pretty crazy. So that's quite nice. See if we can find any other ways to further improve it. Alright. Curious if we're gonna get any smack talk here. We are.
Disobedience from a granddaughter of mine.
You hold on just a second here. Oh, never mind. That's all he has to say. Alright, so we do not have any normal rarity keepsakes, or rather normal rarity boons, which means we don't need to take the Narcissus keepsake. And we could instead take this, which is the one that I was alluding to many times before. So we have some flexibility to rarefy any of a number of things. Let's do it. Oh, remember that sound effect. Or at least, I'm pretty sure there is one for all of them, but that one's particularly prominent.
The card.
It's Zagreus' keepsake. It sounds sort of like the instrument from the main menu on Hades 1, so maybe that's why. But we'll go with this. Do that, because we have to. And we spent fairly aggressively on the previous floor. We might pass on this stuff. I mean, this can potentially be very good, but we already have a lot of levels and rarity on all of our current boons. I don't think it's possible to sacrifice this one, but I kind of want to keep the Aphrodite attack boon, so there's a decent chance if we were to do this that it would force us, or at least the sacrifice would land on the attack, and then suddenly we're wasting the cash on it. I mean, it's only 25 gold, so sure, maybe we'll give it a shot. I would probably like for it to be this, and if it's anything else, I will probably skip it, but you know, if we have to sacrifice 25 gold for at least the chance of getting something good, then so be it. It's not too bad. Alright, we're gonna get the Chaos Boon evolving after a few more rooms. No, it's not. Is it bad that I'm kind of just expecting to one-shot every enemy at this point, and when that doesn't happen, we might take damage? At least some of the bigger enemies, it's not quite enough.
Ashes.
Also nab this while we're at it. Thank you. Okay. So here, yes, we can get potentially another level on the attack boon, which would be nice, especially since, again, there aren't that many boons. It's almost guaranteed that this will be one of the options. Or we get golds. We're running a little low, as I was saying, although it's not desperate by any means. Or early Hermes, which it's still relatively early Hermes, I should say. I don't believe it would be possible to see this proc on Hermes. So he's kind of in his own boon category. Again, the palm likely will not affect him at all. But I think it's still the way to go. Either pick up one of those boons that gives us some of the long-term benefits, like either extra gold earning potential or extra spending potential at future shops, or his various attack speed-based boons that could be helpful. I know we already have at least one source of extra speed, but if we stack even more of those, that could get pretty crazy to do this as quickly as possible. It just gets ludicrous.
Hurry up before it's too late. I like saying that.
Like, for example, rarefying this, which I think is exactly what we're about to do, possibly with all of our rarifications right now. Because, I mean, we kind of, with the attack boon, more or less got the big boon that we wanted almost immediately. So it's not like we need to save the rarification for anything in particular. This might be as good as it gets. 25%.
Greater might.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Perfect. And that's without Berserk active. With it active, that's an extra 65% speed. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And if we can somehow find a way to make it even faster still, sign me up. Alright, let's go here, I think. Even if Narcissus usually doesn't have the best of rewards for us.
Nice. Yeah, definitely so. Like, oh, I mean, for real.
And is this our first time seeing him after having sorted out his issues with Echo, or have we seen him once already since having done that? So it's been a while.
Don't know how to thank you for the water cleaning thing. So crisp and clear. I can see every perfect feature on this vase. You've got a real future in water sanitation.
Oh, gee, thanks, Narcissus.
Perhaps the improved image quality will help you start to notice details other than yourself. The effect of the purification should last longer if you do.
Oh.
What I'm trying to say is, I've decided to give you the greatest gift of all that I've received. So here's something from my private reserve.
Oh? Is this different from...
Oh, thank you.
Oh. Yeah, it must be this. It has flavor text, whereas nothing else does. Also, the name suggests that it is quite good. Heavenly Splendor. Oh, I didn't realize the Stardust is very rare. And then also the various boon counters to help us with infusions. We don't have any yet, although with that, we suddenly would be in contention for a bunch. And, I mean, the gold would be nice, but otherwise, this is almost completely useless. And 100 gold is not a game-changing amount. You get a little bit of silver for kudos purposes, but that's not a huge deal. The Stardust is absolutely the most valuable thing there. Oh. Oh, wait, no. Okay, it's two of these. Also, have we seen them look like that before? That looks cool. Oh, that was not even what I was trying to pick up, but that. Okay. Then we're going straight into a mini-boss, and it's Hephaestus, who we've not yet seen. But he does have some good stuff for, like, a dash boon. He has very high damaging dash boon. He does have some armor stuff. We do currently have armor, although that might be about to change, depending on how this mini-boss fight goes. And then the cast, even if it's not a major thing we're looking to do, he also has a cast that does a big burst of damage, so, you know, you drop it once, and it's not a bad thing to have. Let's see, which one is it? This is the one that I did not want to see. I think it is by far the hardest. Excuse me. Okay. Not rid of all those guys. Please stop doing that. No, he does the ink attack. It's that little jump at the end that throws me off. Okay, there we go.
Too much squirming.
I kept on thinking, like, does that do damage? I don't remember.
There's talk up here that Kronos made off with the Fates or something like that. Well, those three have messed with our whole lives so much. Suppose it's only fair, isn't it?
That's one way to put it. We are, of course, also very much looking to free the Fates, and that's something that we know for sure we cannot do until we get the new true ending. Oh, not for the attack, no. And with all the speed that we're stacking now, Hephaestus is not really a good person to have boons from in that case. Although with the rarity and level, it's only a 2-second recharge time, which is kind of insane. Gain life based on our magic limit. We don't have a crazy amount right now, although long term that could be useful. Start of each encounter, have 250 armor. I mean, we could actually take that, and then that's a lot of armor. 7 seconds if we're quick about it, which we can be with this weapon potentially. We could functionally avoid taking damage in many encounters, but I think I still kind of like this. I know this is also the one option. Oh, this is the sacrifice that we were referring to before, and it did end up landing on the attack. As I said, at that time, I don't think we want to do it, because I did want Aphrodite, and yeah, the 2-second recharge time does make that a little more tempting, but I still think with the speed at which we're slamming with the light melee combo, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So, I know this one doesn't have extra levels from the old keepsake, but I think we still ought to take it here, and this is not the penultimate room, right? It is not. So that means we should still see another shop later on. If we had a bunch of gold to spare, we could potentially double up on the shops, but I don't know that it makes sense on this occasion, and instead, we probably ought to just take a Poseidon boon that will ultimately not cost us any gold, because that way we can get more gold to spend, or we will have more gold to spend for the next shop at the end of this floor. And we did get the Chaos Boon evolving either on this encounter or an encounter or two before that. And that means even more rarity for our boons. So that is good. It does mean it's going to be hard to find boons. Well, nothing ever drops directly as heroic rarity. So we should be able to at least upgrade everything once. Oh, no.
Such mindless, flailing persistence on your part.
Flailing persistence, you say? That is an accurate way to describe our current build.
Past or one of your nightmares.
Where is this?
This rift should open if I concentrate.
So we have tried doing this before, where you deliberately delay progressing the encounter as long as possible to potentially see more enemies spawn and farm up slightly more gold. You can do that to a certain extent. However, eventually what happens is enemies stop spawning, or if they do keep spawning, they stop dropping gold, something like that. So it means there's a limit on just how much you can do that, so I don't know that it makes a ton of sense for us to attempt that here. Although, it would help if the enemies actually would stand still long enough for me to hit them. projectiles are annoying. So is all the running.
That was,
Okay,
of
well there we go.
course, a very different time.
So we very well may opt to rarefy here, just because we will be running out of time fairly soon.
In the name of Hades.
To use that upgrade, let's see. Oh, I'm kind of surprised that it's all only rare rarity. But this is good to get early on. So maybe we rarefy that and we take it, and it does benefit from levels. I did not remember that being the case, but it's 45 if we rarefy, it goes 50. So we'll take that, and then given that we have the extra rarity chance from that Chaos boon, I think we're gonna find a lot of boons that are just gonna already, right off the bat, be offered to us at high rarity, and so we're not gonna have that much of a need to rarefy in the future. There's the reward we're looking for. Oh. Remember, some of these can create mines. You can't just mindlessly hammer away. Take this.
More ashes.
And then I would probably go this route, but let's see what you give us. Gold, let's do it. Probably lose our armor, but that's fine. Out there. As I said, probably lose the armor. There we go. Pretty quick. Took a little bit of damage, but we'll heal most of it off, and we got almost the maximum number of gold there. Maximum amount, so that's quite useful. So now we'll go here, and then probably the next room after that is going to be the shop. Here, Scylla's singing now. More? Yes, indeed. No, don't do that. We have the... No, we have the... Berserk. Must ground pound. Okay. So we'd like still for this to be the attack, in all likelihood, to get upgraded, but we'll see. Can we get this multiple times from you? Other than boons, hammers, or rare resources, it might be possible.
I can use this.
Flutter Strike, it was the attack. Let's go. Even more damage. I did not think that had enough range to hit us. Also, it got bigger as time went on, so that's a little strange. We do not yet have any Hex-related stuff, but we might just make this a non-Hex run, because again, this combo does not require any... Also, wow. The first attack is usually the thing that is really slow, and that makes it hard to get into this combo safely, quickly, efficiently. But once you get into it, it's much faster, of course. But we have so much speed that even the first hit is not that slow. We can almost immediately go into that. Also, we do have this mini shop here. Just want to see... no, I think we're passing on that stuff. We'll save for future shops, and sure, it could be a free life upgrade. I think the Selene upgrades actually can get duplicated from C-Star, but I think we're still gonna go here. Nope. Actually, it's fine if you take that.
Such is the smuggler's life. When battle rages all around, there's little time for love, little room for beauty. In
Oh,
Aphrodite here,
duo?
She never loses heart. It's almost precious how she strives with all her might, brandishing that decorative spear of hers.
He's like, I have this trident, which actually does serve a purpose. Hers, though, that's just a decorative spear.
Well, good Lord Poseidon, I'm pleased to know how I inspire you. Though perhaps you ought to pay more attention to our foes than to what I do with my spear, so we can turn this battle in our favor, finally.
All right.
Paid up. Well,
take less damage from nearby foes, boons of Aphrodite, treat all foes as nearby. I don't know that second part is all that meaningful, because we were probably going to be nearby for our attack anyway, but okay. Oh, actually, it's really useful for this. It means we are always restoring a ton of magic. So technically speaking, if we wanted to be a charge move build, we are now very, very capable of doing that. That's another sacrifice, but no, that's not what we want. So it's definitely going to be this. The defense being the main benefit, and then we still have this. Nemesis took ashes, which is not a huge deal. And yep, I know we already hit the cap on the diminishing returns. It's always just 10% of a boost each level this time, but honestly, it's still not bad. This is always active, so it's kind of nice to upgrade it further, but it's already probably way more than enough because we still are not really using magic, as I was saying before. This is maybe the next most tempting thing to try to get a little more value out of the Sea Star. Again, the earlier you get it and the earlier you power it up, the more you will have time to benefit from it, but still gotta do that, right? We have to. That's the main thing we're building around, and it's faster, it's stronger, and it's that much more fun. And that's what we're here for, right? Fun first and foremost.
There's a lot to like about this part of Oceanus, don't you think? The acoustics are the perfect blend of land and sea, and that Poseidon has no control over any of it.
I don't know about that.
You're taking advantage of this place being past the border of the realm beneath the earth.
I
I don't think
see.
Lord Poseidon would appreciate that, should you ever return to his waters.
Oh, if we ever go back to his waters, we'll be so big that he wouldn't dare mess with us. He or any of the gods. Wherever we go, we're gonna be the main attraction.
Oh man, if the other gods heard you say that, they would not be pleased. Excuse me. Oh no, she's down already. Darn it. Oh, hello. You're next. Oh man, this is insane. I angled that in such a way that she technically blocked some of it. The damage is ridiculous. And the speed of that damage. It's not just the raw numbers, it's the damage per second as well. I wasn't even... Wait, what was it that actually got to me? What was the little bit of dash damage, actually? Oh, hello to you, projectiles. Oh, I forgot, yeah. When she's the featured artist, she makes that little area of effect around her. Both where she lands and where she initiates the attack from. Please stop blocking that! Apparently the angle wasn't quite right. Yeah, I know you're trying to summon those guys in, but what if you just didn't?
I'll be in my shell.
I don't know if it was our fastest Skilla kill ever, but it was definitely up there. And it was just enough to rank up the calling card again, which technically means that it now has 2 more uses on this floor, which we obviously don't have any remaining opportunities to use, but that's alright. In the future, it is now stronger, which means you can use it more times spread across multiple boons, or because you can use it multiple times on the same boon, it also means you can more easily take something up from common to heroic if you want. Okay.
No more crowds.
So, we still do not have any common rarity boons, and we may not have any going forward because of this. So, Narcissus still doesn't make sense here. What do we want to use? In that case, it could be that we try ranking up the crystal figurine a little bit more. Obviously, it could give us something a little bit useful here. It does need probably 2 more floors to reach that final rank. That's one that we've been trying to work toward a little bit. Alternatively, I've recently realized what the use case for the experimental hammer is, beyond just, obviously, it gives you a hammer upgrade in the short term, but I was always thinking about how the thing that gets upgraded is not the number of hammer upgrades, but the length of time that you get those hammer upgrades, and I was thinking, well, what use is that? Sure, it makes it a little more predictable, you know, okay, this hammer upgrade that I'm going to have it for longer, and I can potentially build around it that way, rather than potentially starting to build around it only for it to then get changed mid-run and get the chair pulled out from under me, metaphorically speaking. But I think the real use case for it is supposed to be that at least once you rank it up, the number of encounters it lasts for is long enough that you start using it on one floor, and even once you take it off, it's still, that hammer upgrade lasts long enough that it will be active for the following floor. So, I don't know if that's really going to end up being the case for long, when it's only rank 1, since 10 encounters usually a given floor, if you factor in some rooms technically don't count as encounters because they don't have enemies in them, then usually you're going to get a little less than 10 encounters per floor, so it probably will last us slightly into the final floor, unless it does actually rank up on this floor, and it might be close to doing that. So maybe we'll give that a shot. And then final floor, if we want to, we can go back to some more bossing-oriented keepsakes. So let's do that. We do need to do this. And we'll check you out. It'd be really nice if we had the option to pick this up and then heal at the well, but alas, that is not allowed. This is a little tempting. Usually I would be very keen on picking it up, but I mean, 60% rarity is enough to be noticeable. It's not an absolutely game-changing amount to the point where absolutely everything is going to be epic rarity, whereas when combined with this, that is more likely to be the case. So if we were to do both of these, it would take up most of our remaining monies, but you know what?
Should help.
We'll do it. Okay. Oh, right, and we have you. Oh, no, that's based on magic. Okay, I kind of forgot that technically we get life from magic now. Okay, I was thinking of, it's the Aphrodite boon that gives you just overall more of both magic and life.
Closer now.
Okay.
It's drier here, at least.
I suppose that is true. Ooh. Hammer. Like to see that, and it is possible to get double hearts. Now...
The bell.
Oh, this technically will give us a tiny bit of life as well. Technically speaking, I'm not sure that's even possible for us to see Echo to duplicate the... Oh, I guess we actually do benefit from that right now. Rare time when that's actually the case at the very beginning. But I'm just thinking about potentially Echo in the next room. I think it generally doesn't happen. Oh, there's also one of these, which makes me a little more keen on saving the healing. So sure, we'll do this first.
Smackers.
There are the smackers. Excuse me. Oh, right, and that can give us healing as well. I forgot about that. And there's the extra copy from C-Star, which already means we have a lot of life at this stage, which is nice. So then, I think we... yeah. Do this.
Can't take this yet.
One moment while I beat you up. The Thousand Punch Man wanted to beat us up, but it turns out we were the Thousand Punch Man all along. Thousand Punch Goddess. Okay. Special does bonus damage to armor. Channel your charge attack faster and move faster while it's active. Charge attack fires around you, leaving you free to move and strike at the same time. That might... This one here at the bottom might make it possible for us to simultaneously have the charge attack and our slam light melee combo going. This one, obviously, you do it more quickly, so it's easier to quickly work it in and then go do the light melee combo, because that's the fun part. Let's try this one.
I'm grateful, Daedalus.
Yeah, because then we can still do this. Okay, that works. What are you? Gold? Sure. please don't place that directly on top of you. I find that rude. Still pure 100, the full value. That's very nice. Okay, and we technically do benefit. All right, sure. Well, yeah, we're gonna heal a tiny bit. Would have healed a little bit going through the next room, but it's a mini boss for either Hestia or Aphrodite. What do we like the most at this point? Because we've gotten the big Aphrodite boon that we were looking for. And there is still the one that primes some magic but gives you a little bit of flat added damage in return, which then would get multiplied by a whole lot. So that's probably the next best thing from Aphrodite. Hestia, I mean, obviously we don't have a cast or a dash boon yet. The other thing is that we do potentially have a big Aphrodite synergy coming from the duo boon, so that probably is reason enough to go Aphrodite.
Out of my way.
Let's see which one. Oh, it's these guys. Probably better matchup for us, to be honest. If I could hit them at least. Just a little tough when they're all attacking at the beginning. You can move? I don't remember ever having seen you guys move before, the little ones. The big one in the middle, sure. One moment. You're down. Okay, now your behavior might change a bit since all the other ones are here. Or rather, are no longer here. Oh, hold on. Didn't really mean to do that. You do have a swirling melee attack of sorts. But now that you are de-armored,
Crude sorcery at best.
you are no more.
Oh.
Nab that, and then nab this.
Hear me. On my
Should be
authority.
higher rarity as well. Ooh. I mean, technically speaking, enemies always count as being nearby, which means that is really strong. Wow. That's a little tempting, not gonna lie. Oh, this is the one that I was thinking about. Oh, we do save this even once we once we exchange it for a different one. Much like the Jeweled Palm. Okay, so we did benefit from... Sorry, I just headbutted the microphone a little bit. We do benefit from it having ranked up at the very end there. So I think we rarify this twice at that, because this is the boon that I was looking for. Yes, that 360% number is kind of insane, but I still think we're mostly trying to build around the attack and the special. Technically, it does get faster from Berserk as well, doesn't it? But I still think I love the light melee combo. That's the thing that I want to build around, man.
Follow your heart.
So I'm going to follow my heart, you know? And then we could potentially duplicate, which would be huge. So by upgrading the rarity of it, it's plus 11 damage, which might not seem like a lot, but then you have to multiply that by 300%. Or, you know, multiplied by 3. So it's really 33 damage, plus the extra speed in terms of damage per second. It's much higher than that. Lids, that says plus 200%, not plus 300. Look, plus 100%. Not plus 100, just 100% means 1. So, it's math, okay?
It's been too long.
Hello. Have we seen you since I think we have seen you at least once since we resolved your issues with Narcissus. So I remember we were thinking, oh, maybe she's going to sound different, or maybe she's going to have something meaningful to say to us, and it kind of didn't end up happening. It's a little bit disappointing in a way, but maybe that'll be different this time. Also, okay, I was going to say we didn't really take note of what the hammer upgrade was. Turns out it is a special upgrade, which, okay, might have made it a little more tempting to do the sacrifice special. It'd be cool if we saw that later on, but it's, I stand by that.
It's been too long, too long, too long. Yes, for I have matters not just in the depths of Tartarus, but also far above, on the besieged summit of Olympus, rightful home of Lord Zeus and Queen Hera.
Indeed.
Zeus and Queen Hera, Queen Hera, Queen Hera.
Okay, let's see. Double the level of one of our boons that has the highest level. Meaning the attack. Oh, man. Oh, man. It has to be this.
Please don't give in.
It was 200%. Now it's plus 270%. Oh, boy. The build is taking shape. And I'm here for it. I mean, all of these things you could argue are not great. All of them are technically possible to duplicate with Sea Star, which is only a 50% chance, but across 3 of those things, there's a high likelihood that we'd see at least one of them get duplicated. Whereas this one, double boon, there's not a single boon on that side. I think we might go this route. Maybe see if we can pick up that dash boon from Hestia that we had to turn down, or Hephaestus. I think I like both of their dash boons here. Oh, I walked straight into that. Oops. Oh, that can get duplicated as well. Not that it makes a huge difference, but we'll take it. There's a lot of enemies just hanging out over here. It is not something that I'm, particularly thrilled about. I also did see that, but could not do anything about it at the time. Go away. Go away. That could potentially get duplicated as well, but it did not. That's alright. Okay, so now the order doesn't matter too much, the order in which we take stuff. Since we are no longer trying to plan around Echo, but man, this is the most enemies I've ever seen. The most sort of optional random enemies that I've ever seen on this floor, I think. And it's not even like we used any of the fear upgrades to increase the number of enemies. This is just completely random, it seems. They happened to spawn that way. It has actually given us a chance to heal off some of the damage that we took. Okay, are you done now? Random enemies? So I'd like to survey. I was gonna say though, yeah, I think we got all the minor stuff. Okay, so we might as well just take the stuff we like most first. I think the biggest question is going to be, would we rather have the Hestia dash or the Hephaestus dash? And we should probably take the one that we prefer first. In case it does show up, where is there? I think the answer is Hephaestus.
Got their attention, huh?
Yep. Ooh, that's kind of nasty. Nope, stop doing that. And that. I'd like to do the smash. Okay. So now let's see what we get here. I mean, technically, I guess that you could make the case that we actually ought to have done the palm first, because that way we have the highest possible chance of getting it to land on the attack. Can swap the magic restoration. No, this magic restoration is absolutely perfect with the duo boon that we have. Even more damage to armor. This is the dash boon, but maybe we pass on it for this, because I see a damage multiplier for our attack boon. And sure, it only applies to armor, but it basically means that we instantly delete armor. So if we run into, say, mini bosses on the final floor, then that becomes much easier for us to deal with. So, given how we have another potential good dash boon, I think it's okay. But we also still could find the annoying mini-boss enemy that sometimes shows up here on this very floor. Definitely one-shotting the armor at this stage. Okay, yep, unfortunately didn't land on the attack. So, and we see this, which is the one that we just got, so maybe if we had gone palm first, we would have seen the attack instead of this, which would be nice. This is 1% extra damage. I kind of forgot that we had that, to be honest with you. But it might actually still be the most meaningful. It is another way to further multiply our attack damage particularly against bosses. It's 1%, but if you consider that even just the base amount of damage that we have is pretty high, then it does probably still amount to something. The special we just realistically are not using very much right now, and this is probably already doing its job because we're already one-shotting armor, and I don't think armored enemies you can... I think at most, against an armored enemy, you can get rid of all of their armor in one hit. You can't remove all of their armor and also immediately start damaging their health beyond that. So, I think it might actually be that, even though that looks very underwhelming. Okay, well, here's our second chance, and here we do get the attack boon. Okay, yes, we are definitely taking it.
One left.
That one you do love to see. And it is good to see that we're getting some decent value from the Sea Star. Okay, several armored enemies. It would help if I hit them, of course. Ooh, I walked into that. I did not mean to do that, and then I almost walked into another one. Get rid of the smoke cloud dude, because he's very annoying. No, I did not mean to do that. Now let's get rid of you. Oh, and accidentally get rid of the big wolf dude while we're at it. Okay, and for you... Let's see, we can get the sprint. It's lower rarity than what we saw before. But one tier lower, but maybe that's still okay. It's better than nothing, of course, because we do not yet have... As I continue to accidentally just bump the microphone slightly, I'm sorry. Let's do this.
That's hot.
Okay, I assume this is penultimate room? It actually might not be. Now this floor is kind of weird with how it counts rooms, since they're technically kind of sort of multiple rooms all lumped together into one. We don't have that much gold, to be honest with you, because we have been kind of aggressive with it. So, I mean, we don't have a big need for life. Maybe we'll still do this. Okay, and it is the penultimate room. And I think it's 1 and it's 2, and we'll pass on you. Yeah. Sea Star. Okay. 55% chance to proc now. It's getting late enough in the run that it's running out of opportunities to proc, so it's not that meaningful to upgrade it anymore. Cannot proc on boons. We can get the cast, which I am probably fine with. This is also quite good, given how we can potentially just clear out rooms in that 7 seconds. Might honestly just go for this. Usually I would prioritize getting a cast boon, especially because we don't have one at this stage, but, you know, we do have a level 15 version of basically the ideal attack boon for us, alongside other synergistic effects, like this, and that, so I think we'll be okay.
Heads up.
I really didn't want him to do that, because I really wanted to just keep doing this. I really wanted to see if we could basically skip one of his phases altogether. Okay, no, that's our move, 1000 Punch Man. What the heck? Stop running away, Cerberus! We need to annihilate you. Okay. Also, one of our fastest Cerberus kills. I don't know if it's the absolute fastest. There might be some Hex ones that have been faster still, but it's up there.
Now appreciatively toward the princess of the dead.
Alright, good stuff.
To your master in abode.
Take that, and then I saw... Oh, I did not see this.
Some seeds.
I did see this. Okay. Very nice. We have 50 of those. Wow. Okay. Let's be on our way. And now, still no common rarity boons, so Narcissus is not in play, and we probably were going to want to use a boss and keepsake of some variety anyway. And now this is what I was referring to before. Unfortunately, this did not quite level up, but we do still have the benefits of it for 3 more rooms, and if we were to rank it up a little bit more, then you might be able to get it to the point where it truly gives you 2 floors worth of a hammer upgrade. So even once you take it off, you're still benefiting from it for a while. And yeah, it needed 1 more encounter. That stinks. Alright, oh well. So if we really wanted to, if we feel confident about the build, we could take something just for the sake of giving it more experience, leveling it up, like sticking with this, for example. And it does benefit us, yes, because it means rather than losing a hammer upgrade that we are not really benefiting much after 3 floors, or rather at 3 rooms, we do get the chance to have it switch to something if we still have it on, and maybe that new hammer upgrade will be more helpful. So, I mean, it's still useful, and potentially useful in that way. Obviously, we still don't have control over what it's going to give us. Or, alternatively, just thinking of other things that we might want to level up that also would still be at least somewhat useful on this fight, and it kind of feels like the answer is the hammer. Lion Fang, if we were quick about this floor, but still, by the time we get to the boss fight, it's going to be either weaker or just flat out non-existent, the damage boost from it, so I'm not thrilled about that. Or you'd go with one of the boon-giving god or goddess keepsakes, which we've already maxed out Aphrodite. She would probably be the one we'd be most keen on, given how we have a lot of Aphrodite stuff going on. But I don't know, like, sure, you could throw on Hestia and see if you can get something interesting happening with her. Or actually, hold on. I'm looking at the number of boons we have in each category, because we got this, which gave us a bunch, but we don't have a single infusion right now, which is kind of surprising.
Maybe I should switch.
But I don't know that that's really going to help us that much, taking one of these. Like, sure, if a god or goddess shows up, we're potentially eligible for the infusion, but the keepsake is not really going to affect that all that much. Guess we could take something like that. I don't know. Or even that. I think we stick with the hammer. Let's see if we can get a nice hammer. Oh, we've already done that. Okay, stick with the hammer. Check this. Don't really think we need any of these. We'll just try to save up for the super shop. And certainly not selling that. If we really wanted to, we could sell that, see if we get anything better in return, but I think we're okay.
Unseen.
Let's proceed. And we have the armor
Ground floor.
at the start of encounters, which means we can be especially aggressive at the very beginning, and that is very useful for our current setup. Okay, in we go.
I shall be anticipating your arrival.
Nope, don't hit me. Are they attacking each other? It looked like it for a second there. Nope, bad. Stop that. Okay, it has now ranked up, which means it lasts for 15 encounters when you take it, which means that's pretty close to being the equivalent of 2 floors. Definitely go in here. Definitely do not have enough fear for that, nor would we really benefit all that much from that, though, to be honest. Probably just end up selling it for kudos. Just checking for other stuffs. Oh, we can actually attack these in advance. You know what? Why not?
passing.
I did not realize that. I assume that they aren't going to just respawn the moment that the encounter actually begins. That's actually useful information. Okay. So, do we have a reason to prioritize one over the other? I mean, I don't know. Not really. Oh. We probably would have chosen based on the one that we are most okay with when they're mad at us, and I think Poseidon sends a wave that chases after us, which is maybe okay. And then Hestia's, I think, is more or less the same thing. It's just a fireball instead, so I guess that isn't really a factor after all. Okay, we did turn this down before, but I was saying it could be good. Ideally, of course, it could be even higher rarity, but I think that still works as is, and obviously the cast is not really going to do much for us, so we'll take this here. Poseidon is displeased.
There you go again, brushing me aside like a bit of seaweed clinging to your leg. Is that what you take me for, niece?
That was a great simile. Great simile from Poseidon.
Sorry, Uncle Poseidon.
Oh, did that hit us right as our armor expired? No, we still had armor. Okay, don't worry. Oh, we can freeze the enemies with that? Also, wow, that was fast. Usually, the rooms with 2 gods in them take longer, and that was faster than usual. That's saying something.
Why are we dallying when we have bigger fish to fry? Oh, right, because you picked a fight with me. Though, does this mean I lost?
Poseidon is just non-stop dad puns and metaphors and similes. Okay, I mean, I do also like his dash, so doing a sacrifice to get that, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think this could also be kind of useful. It does knock them back, which potentially makes it a little tricky to get the full value out of spamming our light melee combo, but I'm just kind of crossing my fingers that that doesn't ruin everything. Because defensively, it's a little bit useful, makes it less likely that we get surrounded as we are doing that. So, otherwise, what, we're only getting that from the special that we are rarely using. So I think we take High Surf. Okay. Can't get you.
4 chambers to go.
Okay, well, obviously, we are going to do this. And get what would actually be the second...
Greetings, Father.
The second boon from Hades here. Given that we took the Jeweled Palm earlier. And is this our first time having taken the Jeweled Palm when we are encountering Hades? To the point where he might have something to say about that? I don't know.
Such a cacophony occurred after you last visited. Exactly when I cannot say. All of the Titan's wretched servants flew into a panic. Their cries would not cease. What transpired?
Well, we may or may not have beaten Kronos up.
Perhaps they were concerned for their master, or busy trying to bring him back to life. Because I slew him, finally. And it won't be the last time.
Yeah, so we have done, is it exactly 1 successful Underworld run with the new True Ending build-up, or has it actually been 2 at this stage? Might only be 1.
Blood and darkness. Then you accomplished that which once took half the blasted strength of Olympus. All on your own.
Well, with the help of some gods and goddesses along the way.
Not on my own at all. I had their strength, if not their support, as you've given me yours. Father, we can stop him. And for now, we can kill him.
He shall seek vengeance with a renewed zeal. This entire plot of his is driven by the same impulse. Then kill him if you must. At least, his many deaths ought to keep him occupied.
Is that the first time we've heard that conversation? I don't remember if we'd heard that before, but if so, it probably would have been a long time ago. In confrontation with Kronos, he summons fewer reinforcements. Confrontation with Kronos, he takes a burst of damage after 3 seconds. Restore 1% of life. Wait, restore 1% of the damage you deal until you reach the limit of 150. Okay, I remember that had been buffed. I think it previously capped out at 100, and it always felt like, that was we were gonna blow through that quickly enough that it didn't feel worthwhile. I think it probably is still this that I'm gonna take, though, especially alongside our high damage build. See just how quickly we can take down Kronos.
Go.
Unfortunately, I don't think Cerberus will allow us to pet him anymore.
Three-headed Cerberus eyes every surface of the chamber all at once.
Oh. Right, I guess he can do that. I hadn't really thought of that before.
Sorry, boy.
The benefits of having 3 heads. Alright, onward we go. Remember, we want to be quick at the beginning.
Stand
Oh,
back,
no.
or else.
Do we have armor?
Got the blade of the underworld. Won't be needing your help here. Thanks.
Is that a challenge?
Make yourself useful.
Race you.
I missed. Don't teleport away from me and allow Nemesis to get kills. That's lame. No, don't get stuck in that. If that could... Did that freeze Nemesis? She was stuck in it. Or she was in the area of effect. I don't know if she actually got frozen from it, though. Which feels kind of lame. Feels kind of cheap. We've seen that other enemies can get stuck in it. Okay, I mean, we absolutely annihilated her.
Got what they deserved. Ugh, that was terrible. Later.
Take that, Nemesis. Okay, so we get extra gold from having defeated her. And we also just saw our hammer upgrade get switched. And it is now hopefully something a little more useful for us. That's one that we took ourselves. That's also one we took ourselves. Where is the new one? Does it show right on here? No. That's what we just got from Hades. Where's the new one? Not that. We already had that. That's Grave Thirst. Where is it? The heck? Oh. Oh. It doesn't replace it with a new one after that many encounters. It just goes away altogether. I had assumed that if you still have it equipped, that it replaces the old upgrade with a new hammer upgrade. Okay. Well, now we know.
Come on up.
Turns out it won't be helping us in the Kronos fight, after all. But hey, at least we have ranked it up once and can get a little more experience on it as we continue to progress here. And I'm just seeing now, no other options. No optional rooms here. We obviously had some of those front-loaded. Okay, we want to be quick. Don't really care about taking damage at the beginning, which is very nice in a room like this. The knockback is making it kind of hard to, especially for dash striking, make sense of where enemies are. But that's all right. I think it still works at the end of the day. Okay, mini boss for Poseidon, or surely, yeah, we have the option to just go pure progress. Let's see if there's any other stuff that we missed in here. Doesn't look like it. Okay, we'll go mini boss, especially because remember, we have, where was it? We took something that gives us huge damage against armor, I think. I can't remember what it, oh, it's this one. So that is more or less specifically for this purpose. Beat him up! Beat up the Rat Man! Take that, Rat Man! Oh, man. That was pretty insane. And although we did get hit by him once, it was when we still had armor. And because we hit him while we were berserked, we actually healed on net from that.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Nice when you can heal from the enemies. The strongest enemies. Okay, this is pretty tempting when combined alongside the one that gives us armor at the beginning of the encounter. This one actually lasts a little bit longer. And that's, you know, 185% extra damage on top of this. Even if it only lasts for a few seconds, we have to, right? I know we don't have a cast boon yet, but... And charge moves, yes, technically we can use the charge attack. We did get a hammer upgrade that makes it possible to do both charge attack and normal light melee combo, but this has to be done. Ooh, we can go into more optional rooms, which would be kind of useful on this occasion. To get more gold. Test out some of the stuff we just got, so we want to be quick. Oh, that's insane. Okay, I did make a point of doing the charge attack before doing the basic attack. And I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but this is kind of insane. This is like busted Chaos Trial level of power. And then throw in C-Star for extra gold. And suddenly we probably still can't afford everything from the upcoming shop, but should be able to get the vast majority of the things there. I wish we ended up taking... Oh, this is another great room for this. Great room for that. I wish we ended up taking the knuckle bones as our keepsake on this floor, even if we obviously didn't need it for leveling purposes, just so we could have absolutely demolished Kronos even more quickly.
In we go.
Sure. Don't know that it's going to work out for us, but we'll give it a shot. Ooh, okay. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Don't like that at all. Oh, I got hit by something. Yep. Yeah. All the projectile enemies, and then as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work. Doesn't matter how much damage we have at that point, something is just gonna poke us. That's all it takes.
A consolation prize.
Yeah, on net. Definitely a loss there, but so be it. We're getting tons of rooms here that are especially good for this setup, which is nice. Oh, I'm surprised that there's another wave of enemies. Also, I don't know why it did not let me charge up my attack. At the beginning there, I was spamming, or I was holding the attack button, which nothing happened for a solid couple of seconds there, which is why we ended up getting hit. But okay, so we do have the super shop in the next room. Which means, yes, obviously I do see the mini shop right here, but we do want to be mindful.
What do we have in here?
That, yeah, we are definitely going to see better stuff in the next room, and so probably just save all of our monies for that, and probably still, I mean, we could probably afford a big crafting item, which is usually the single most expensive thing in the super shop, but if we were to do that, we'd probably need to skip everything else, or we do everything else except for the big crafting item, which is probably going to be the direction we go here. Though I guess you could say that for runs like this where we deliberately opt not to take any fear, that this is more so the type of run where you can opt to do things like this, because that would be pretty useful, but I think we'll be okay. So, let's go... Yeah, I mean, we can afford all these things except for moon dust. We'll do... Does it matter, the order? Don't know that it does.
Hear me, on my authority.
Can finally get a cast spoon. I figured it would probably want us to do that. Have even more armor at the beginning of locations, but Prime Magic is a little late for that. That's supposed to be a long-term thing. Get extra damage based on our armor, and we get 75 armor now. Bear in mind, one of the other options at the shop is to get more armor, and we also gain... Where is it? 275 armor at the start of the encounter. So this is actually a ton of damage. Like a ton of damage.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Poseidon here. Could get a cast or splash effects, which we do now get more consistently from you. Also inflict froth, which makes it possible for enemies to take 110 damage for 3 seconds. That seems like a lot. Charge moves Also launch a wide wave ahead that knocks foes away, but use more magic. We are now... I mean, we've had it for a little while, but I've made more of a point of using this Psychic Whirlwind as of late, at least in groups, in rooms with large groups of small enemies. It was very, very useful. I don't know if that's going to be as meaningful against Kronos himself, so I think maybe we'll go for this. And we take you. And where is this guy? It doesn't do the math for us. I mean, it's a little more than 20% increased damage at the moment. But then it turns into an extra... Well, actually, that puts us at almost 400. So, yeah, I mean, it's actually pretty crazy. I wish this was higher rarity, because this actually has suddenly become a huge source of damage. And we do this. We can't afford that, as we said, but that's all right. I would actually be very interested to see what, mathematically speaking, what the total amount of damage we have on our attack is, because we have some absolutely ridiculous numbers that are adding up here. Plus, not to mention the speed from this, because that's sometimes the issue is you might have, not even that that's an issue per se, but mathematically speaking, sometimes you can do a crazy amount of damage with one hit, but those hits are so slow that your damage per second is still not that crazy. But with the speed that we have between this and the Berserk from the aspect of Nurgle, it means we have it all. We have the damage, we have the attack speed, and with this, we can be technically attacking in two different ways simultaneously. So it is unbelievably strong.
River, take me.
Quite possibly our strongest run ever, or close to it, even including some of the crazy Chaos Trials that we've done.
You dare return? You, with all that vengeance on your mind, claiming to care nothing for the family which I denied you. Good, because you certainly did not miss much. They cared nothing for our family either. Left me to rot. You are no different.
Okay, so obviously, we're now here at the end of the run, and we're in the new true ending build-up. So, we want to be keeping a very close eye out for anything that might be new, because this is where, especially in the underworld, we are expecting to see either things that have been tweaked, or potentially changed or added that didn't exist at all in the past. So, this, for example, I don't recall if we've heard this before, to be honest with you, because it's been a while since we were doing our first few runs against Kronos, but that's also why I had tried to deliberately make a point of saving our underworld runs so that we could do a bunch of them in a row and chain them together to more easily catch what is new and what is remaining the same.
You alone care deeply for our family, is that it? Come on, they left you to rot because you gave them every reason to hate you.
Salt power I refuse to share. They have not worked for it. Perhaps if they asked nicely, none of this would have elapsed. But there is no undoing past mistakes.
There's a chance this is new, in which case it just gives more reason for us to be mad at Kronos, make him seem a little bit more like a tyrant of sorts that we have reason to be fighting against. Because you could otherwise make the case that it'd be a little bit of an extreme argument to make, but you could potentially argue that, oh, we're just mad at Kronos because he's deemed to be the antagonist, but we don't really have any good reason to be mad at him. Sure, he's trying to lead things in the underworld, but somebody has to be the leader, right? But makes him seem a little more like the kind of person who, yeah, we would like to be rid of. Okay, so we want to be fast here. And he's going to take that burst of damage from the Hades boon that we picked up, which meant he was going to get some invulnerability pretty quickly. So we weren't really going to be able to do very much very beginning there, but now we can. Oh my god! That's insane. And he's only stopping there because that is also a threshold at which he always gets a shield at half health. He can now also do multiple attacks, but that's okay, because this is another threshold at 3/4 health lost, when he also must... When he also must become invulnerable. Okay, that has to be the fastest first phase for Kronos we've ever had. I'm tempted to try to knock him out of this. I'm gonna do it. Did he hit us? I don't know that he did. I think we actually... Okay, well, that's the worst place to stand for that. But I think we lived through that because we dealt so much damage to him that we prevented him from actually using his big hit that's supposed to be a one-hit kill. I would also appreciate if you didn't immediately respawn all these enemies that I made a point of attacking first. Okay, for this one, sure. I'll oblige. Okay, this time I'm just going to completely ignore the hands and block, though, because we don't have time for that. That was insane.
Some family you are. Go on and try to cast me out as they once did. See what good shall come of it.
Without a doubt, our fastest Kronos kill, and if I hadn't obliged and gone for that second clock phase and just instead whacked him, then it would have been even faster still. There's a chance we even had enough range to hit him from there. I don't know, but either way, that was unbelievably busted, that build. So yes, I love this weapon aspect, especially if you can get a build this strong. It was basically ideal with almost everything across the board.
I intend to. Though if you wished to be part of the family so much, perhaps you wouldn't have waged war with them.
With them, you say, not us. You too are a reject daughter of Hades. Always shall be, and always would have been.
Also not remembering if this is new or not, unfortunately. But he's trying to say, basically, my quarrel is not with you, my quarrel is with the rest of the gods and goddesses, so leave me alone.
For the underworld.
Okay, the damage inflicted. Not surprised to see that it is our attack far and away. Dash strike, we got some there. The charge attack, that was almost exclusively just from the last few rooms, or at least the last floor, I guess. And the Gagaros dash, that was from the Hades boon that we got at the very beginning from the palm. And Poseidon waves actually did add it up a little bit toward the end there. And then damage suffered, honestly, not much from anyone except Kronos there, in large part because, especially in the second phase, in the second half of the second phase, I was just like, screw it. Just stand there and wail away at him, and we'll accept whatever damage we take in the process, because he's going to go down pretty quickly. But oh boy. As I said, I would love to see just what the actual damage per second numbers on this ended up being with a rank 15 epic flutter strike. Aspect of Nurgle maxed out. The crit from Rocky was maxed out. I didn't even think of that ever since at least the first floor where we mentioned it. But yeah, technically there were times when we were critting for a huge damage boost. Then the Wave Flourish, that was not really a huge factor. Sure, maybe occasionally we were doing a little bit of damage with the Sprint. Magic Restoration, it was actually very powerful. We just very rarely needed it. And by the time we were using the charge attack, then, at that point we probably had more than enough magic anyway. Then the Gagaros dash, as we can see here, statistically speaking, it was a factor, but toward the end it was not the primary damage dealer. The rapid hack, this is the other big thing, increasing the speed of those huge attacks. And that's not damage. That's not... Wait. Oh, that's weird that it's showing Uncanny Fortitude. I mean, that's definitely not the... Oh, it's Nimble Limbs that I'm highlighting here. Oh yeah, we got attack speed from this as well. Because I was thinking in the back of my mind, oh, well, there is also the attack boon, or the speed boon from Hermes. I don't remember if we got that. No, we did. And we maxed it out. So that's even more speed there. Then the armor giving us huge damage as well. And we had a lot of it toward the end there, thanks in large part to the extra armor that we get in the first 7 seconds of the encounter. So it was... I'm not sure if I could have even schemed something up to deal more damage than this if I tried. Other than just, you know, given how we got extra damage from armor, picking up more armor along the way, sure. That would have been one way to get some, but we had some in that final shop, so we were still able to get some from that too. So, oh boy. That was unbelievably strong and very fun as well. So there were a few times where we might have passed on some boons that might have looked like they were strong, might have been a little bit tempting, but I think going all in on maxing out the effectiveness of this definitely paid off.
The remains of time.
Alright. So, that might have distracted a little bit from the plots-related things, but as I said, I wasn't really sure to what extent, if any, we were seeing new stuff there, but let's take a look here.
Just as it was.
There may very well be new things at this stage.
To the abyss of the subconscious I descend. Now the mirror.
Okay. Because we've definitely met Zagreus at least once in the new true ending, possibly twice. I think it was twice, I want to say, despite seemingly having some comments from Kronos that almost suggested this was only our second time having seen him in this timeline. But I did like how, I think the second time we spoke to Zagreus, it was distinctly different from the first timeline, because Zagreus had a lot more to say. It felt like a lot more of a natural build-up, where it took him some time to believe, hey, we're his sister, hey, we have a common goal here, but there is some thing that is a huge threat for us, and you just have to trust us that it's going to be a huge threat for you as well, and we're going to need you to do us a big favor. And we haven't yet gotten much further than that, but let's see where we take it from there. Because the big thing is that, as I've said many times before, I want there to be more of a natural progression build up when it comes to recognizing the threat that is Kronos. We should already have established that much. But then strategizing and maybe even iterating on some kind of solution to defeat him, rather than just having no answer and then immediately suddenly having a complete, fully thought out and successful answer. Because that just feels like that's asking too much to come up with that out of nowhere.
Night and darkness, guide me to my blood beyond the grasp of time.
So that's what I'm looking for.
Just stay down. No. Oh, blast. Thought I had you there. I had you there. You're weakening. Perhaps?
Brother?
Not sure what he's referring to.
Oh. Just as I'm about to get my hair under control.
His
hair?
hair?
What have you done with my reflection? Only joking. I remembered everything just as you said. Particularly since you're here again so soon. Where were we?
That's a great question, because I admittedly did not check exactly what we discussed last time. And it's been a little while, at least IRL, on my end.
I was trying to persuade you to take me at my word that I'm your sister from a future time in which the Titan Kronos has usurped the House of Hades. I mean to stop him and require your assistance.
Okay, so yeah, we're establishing the baseline, trying to make it clear to Zagreus that Kronos is a threat, and that he should trust us because we are siblings, which is basically, as I was saying, hopefully something that is fairly straightforward at this stage. But it's the next steps that I think are going to be critical.
I have a wide variety of questions first, even knowing that our time apparently is limited. First off, why me? Although I am the designated security specialist around here, so perhaps I know the answer to that one.
I think he said this before in the first true ending lead up, but I think we didn't have the conversation that preceded this one in this timeline, so it felt a little more jumpy at that point. This one, a little more natural.
Some security specialist. Kronos caught the house entirely off guard. But you're my closest kin. You've subverted the will of the fates before and slain gods, if not titans. I also lack the means of reaching anybody else this way.
Definitely have heard this before.
Well, great. I feel that strong kinship between us already. Next question. Where even is this Kronos, and what would you have me do if and when I locate him? A two-parter for you.
Heard that as well, I remember that.
I don't know where Kronos is exactly in your time, though I do have a lead. His remains were scattered to the deepest pits of Tartarus, which means he's probably recovering below where you reside. As for what to do if you can locate him, nothing as yet. We'll get to that.
Yeah, that's going to be the key part. But I think this is all more or less identical to what it was in the first build-up to the true ending.
I hate to break it to you, Malinoi, but this isn't all that comprehensive a plan. Especially for something you've been planning all your life. Do I just wait for you to work through the details, or...?
Yeah, so it is the working through the details part that we really want to see more of, but this is still, I think, in this case, more or less recycling the previous conversation in its entirety in the new true ending, which is fine. It's just that you need to build out the pieces in and around it, which we have already seen to a certain extent, and that's why the next few runs will be so big.
No, look, you're a security specialist. Begin an investigation, though in absolute secrecy. Is anything amiss anywhere in the house or in Tartarus? Any unusual activity from satyrs, for example?
We've had our share of satyr problems, though not anywhere nearby. But I can have a look around. What about you? Wait, are you in my bedchambers?
What's left of them, yes. I can only reach you like this while we're in the same location across time. At any rate, I have to find the means for you to destroy the Titan there before he regains his full strength. But... blast.
Yeah, so I think more or less everything has been, if not verbatim what it was before, close to it. And it's just that this time it feels a little more natural. Although there's one thing here, what was it? I can only reach you like this while we're in the same location across time. That's a good example of something that feels like it came completely out of nowhere. How does Malinoi know that? We have no reason for Malinoi to have that information. We happen to have found Zagreus here in the mirror every time prior, but we've no reason to know that this wouldn't work if we were in some different location. If we were to somehow transport this mirror back to the crossroads, maybe we could, in fact, speak to Zagreus whenever we wanted. Obviously, for the sake of the game, that would make the system fall apart, but for just logical reasoning purposes, it's kind of an illogical conclusion, or it's... How is Malinoi, on what basis is Malinoi making this statement? She seemingly has no basis to make this statement, so we just either need to accept it as fact, despite how we have not seen that evidence, which makes us feel kind of strange about that. Or, well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the position that it's putting us in. So, in this case, it's a small thing, relatively small thing, but that's the kind of thing that I don't want to see much of as we continue on and get to the more critical components, like how do we actually come up with the plan to defeat Kronos, and what does that plan entail? Is that going to change, or is it ultimately still going to lead to the same end result as we saw in the first true ending?
What is it? Do you have to go again? Then don't wait up on my account. I'll see what I can do and speak to you when next you haunt my dreams. Take care, sister. We'll sort this out.
Okay. So, yeah, the big difference here is that, well, this conversation is, as I said, almost exactly the same. However, the first time round, it was a little quick to transition from, hey, I know you don't know that you have a sister, but I'm your sister. Also, I have a huge problem that I need you to help me, and you should trust me. So go do a favor for me. To Zagreus just going, yeah, sure, no problem, and then immediately doing it, no questions asked. Whereas this time around, because of the previous conversation, it feels a little more reasonable for Zagreus to be okay with taking our word for these things that we are now saying and actually following through with those favors.
You make it sound so effortless. Farewell, brother. Until we see each other next. From mists of memory, return to Shadow now.
Okay.
She's gone. It's only me again. Hey, when do I wake up?
Zagreus, I'm counting on you.
Okay. Because then, just thinking back to the first build-up to the true ending, I think I remember last time after that conversation with Zagreus, he came back and he suddenly had a whole lot of answers, which also felt like that was kind of jumping from 0 to 60, 0 to 100 very quickly.
Can you believe it, little one? I did it. I got him. What now?
All right. But yeah, that was one of the, if not the most effective build that we've had, and one of the most fun to play as well. So, highly recommend something like that. And part of it was also that we had the Jeweled Palm, so we got all of those boons on, what, level 4 at a minimum from the get-go, and then we ended up doubling the level of that attack boon, so it got to 14 or 15, something like that, by the time everything was done. So that ended up making it far stronger. It would be more possible to recreate at least the variety of boons if you were to skip out on the Jeweled Palm and instead go all in on having a whole bunch of rerolls, so you could basically force yourself to getting the variety of boons that you want. But that would also mean you wouldn't be able to use the other Fate's Whim keepsake to rarefy some of those boons, so it all was just interesting the way that it happened to work out there when we had no rerolls. So it was just the fates, the will of the fates that led to us having a run like that.
You think that you achieved a victory, witch? You merely prolonged your demise, for the Titan whom you vanquished possesses but the smallest fraction of my power.
All right, Dora, let's calm down now.
So you heard. I'm surprised and humbled that you deigned to pay my meager accomplishments any heed, O Spirit. How did you know?
I am all-knowing.
Also, the shades out there were going off about it. Some of them are right outside the tent. Told them they can't come in, but they're still out there, I think.
Thank you for keeping them at bay.
Might have heard that one before, but that is a good one.
Come along then.
Those are the Shades. It's our new fan club.
May moonlight guide us.
To your success. Kronos fell to you once more. That much I heard. It's an impressive feat, although you mean to bring him death, yet he is deathless. This seems to be a paradox.
Yeah, so this is the kind of conversation that I think we need to have more of, and not just go, beats me. I have no idea how we're going to defeat him, but actually start to strategize. And make some, rather than just say, okay, we strategized, and now we have the answer, and it's perfect, and we're ready. Have some trials and tribulations along the way. Make some progress, have a little setback. Make a little more progress, have another setback. Now, suddenly, okay, I think we have the solution we're looking for. Then you have the final component of the true ending, and it feels much more like a natural progression at that point.
That's right. Mortal death is not the end, but mortals often think it is. When we say death to Kronos, we mean it in that absolute way, as impossible as it may seem.
So then, to vanquish him must be at least a step toward that end. What shall become of everything if you succeed and time is truly killed? A world without time.
I do think we have heard this conversation before, but then it is also conversations like this that made me think, hey, that would be a really cool concept to explore for the game. What does happen if we truly kill time? Because here's Moros throwing that idea out there, and I think there might have been one conversation like this with Hecate at one point in the previous true ending as well, where, again, it just sort of stopped there and said, hey, that'd be kind of crazy if we killed time. What would that be like? And then we never really thought about it again, when that kind of seems like a critically important question to be answering. Sure, it might seem kind of funny to just throw it out there in passing, but if you were truly trying to permanently defeat Kronos, and you were serious about it, you actually thought you had a chance of doing that, then, again, you should have all those steps we were talking about to build toward that ultimate victory, but also, you should think about, hey, what is our plan once that happens? Because there's going to be a power vacuum when suddenly the person who was leading the underworld is no longer there. Okay, that one's probably straightforward to resolve because obviously Hades would usually be the person who's in charge of the underworld. But maybe that's a conversation to be had, is just say, hey, let's make sure that Hades is ready to go as soon as we do take down Kronos, because there might be some chaos that ensues, and it will be a little bit difficult for Hades to get everything back in order once he is back in charge. That would make sense to have a conversation like that. It would also make sense to talk about not just the vacuum of power from Kronos getting defeated, but, you know, the fundamental aspect of the universe, time, that you are suddenly removing altogether. And sure, that would be very difficult to find a way to integrate that into the ending of the game, but at the same time, that was the kind of question that made me curious and made me want to go on and continue playing the game to see what would happen and find some creative solution and or some creative interpretation that the developers came up with. And I was looking forward to that, and that's why it felt very underwhelming and kind of like a bait and switch when you have conversations like this that tease that, hey, maybe there will be some of that interesting stuff happening once you reach the true ending, only to then have what felt like kind of a cop-out ending at the end when it's like, well, you're actually not going to defeat Kronos, even after having spent the entire game talking about how you were going to do nothing but focus on defeating Kronos.
A world without ruin and decay. Our world existed before time and can exist without.
This statement right here with Molyneux also implies when you ultimately do defeat Kronos, there's going to be some way in which time itself does not exist anymore. So maybe it's not just a rhetorical question, there actually is some substance behind it, and yet that didn't get further explored.
Another paradox, yet one that must be true.
So those are the kinds of things that, beyond the build-up toward the final true ending, when it comes to the true ending itself, I have some doubts as to just how significant they can make the changes, because it might be kind of hard to do that somewhat retroactively at this stage. So, as much as I would love to see time truly be defeated and for them to actually explore some of those things that I was just talking about, I'm skeptical that they would actually end up doing it. I hope they do, but I'm skeptical.
Ugh.
Hello.
So what's been going on with you and Kronos anyway? You keep beating him, but he keeps coming back. I like how pointless it seems, but there has to be more to it, right?
Come on, Eris. I'm not about to reveal the critical details of my task, especially to someone who had every opportunity to be part of it to begin with. Go about your business.
Ouch.
How about you just give me a little hint? Are you planning to use his own powers against him? Break free our family members one by one? Anything like that?
Honestly, she's asking very relevant questions. Things that we really should be considering, again, more on the build-up toward the true ending side of things. Things like, how are we going to free our family members who have been captured? Because you would like to believe that that's important enough that Molyneux, Hecate, and or other people on our team would be planning around that and not just leaving it completely up to chance, having no plan, showing up only to find that we're ill-prepared and things go horribly wrong.
Not telling you.
Because that's what I would reasonably expect to happen in that situation if one were to be unprepared and if one were not to plan in advance for such a critical encounter. Let's see, how many bones? We actually got a decent amount of bones from that run. No fish at all. Wow. Okay, and we did now figure out that we still need at least a little more Nightmare. So there is something to be said for spending bones on this rather than Moondust, at least for a little while longer. I think this is going to be Moondust, though. So maybe we still do a little more Nightmare and Moondust shipments. Or rather, Nightmare shipments and Nightmare purchases, and then we'll go back to doing full-blown Moondust. I don't know that we need that much more Moondust, though, to be honest.
You brought the Titan low again. But what transpired after that? Was your bygone brother more cooperative than before?
He doesn't know where to find Kronos, though seems willing to investigate. Perhaps he'll turn something up. I still scarce believe it's truly his past self I've spoken to.
Yeah, so I want more of this type of stuff.
Imagine how he feels. Continue to check up on him, but not a word of this to anybody else. Time flows ever forward, and we are not meant to travel opposite that stream.
There's a chance we have actually heard this conversation before, though.
It shouldn't be possible.
We determine what is possible, Malinois.
I think we have heard it before. And in that case, it's a little step in the right direction, or, a step that already existed in that case, yes, but build upon it. Build upon it. Don't just drop it and leave it there and not explore it further.
Lady Medea needs this for who only knows.
Right. We got this crafting recipe from Medea recently, and I had thought we were at the point where we were not going to see many more crafting recipes, if any, besides things that were directly tied to specific characters like Hypnos. And I am not sure to what extent this is tied to other people, besides maybe Medea herself. Vaporize the tears from defeating Cerberus to their purest form for use in some sort of concoction by the Witch of Shadows. Anguish is fleeting, but may be bottled for later use by the skilled practitioner. Yeah, so still don't know what the use case is.
Boil tears of sorrow and return to your essential form.
What else?
But given... Here's Vaporize. Mostly used by the Witch of the Shadows. Or who only knows what. That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. Could it be used for some other major subplot line with a particular side character? Like Hypnos, Odysseus, people of that sort? Because given how we only learned of this crafting recipe very late on, to me that seems to suggest that it's going to be some major crafting recipe of some variety, and not just something that makes us slightly stronger or gives us some gameplay related thing, but is instead based on a plot or subplot points that we've been working toward for a while.
Well done.
Because we know we've been trying to progress our relationship with Odysseus for a very long time, but he's always had this issue where he may be interested only after he settles up with a few old acquaintances. I don't know, is Medea the one that's holding us back there? Possibly.
It's swarming season for the hellyfish in Oceanus, as you may have seen. Should you run into them, advice is not to bother much with smaller ones, but get the biggest one.
I'd rather not bother with any of them and all their stinging. How long do swarming seasons typically go on?
Well,
Indefinitely?
Season is a bit of a misnomer, as the current season started back when I was just a lad. But the good news is you get accustomed to the stinging after a while.
Wonderful.
I was going to say, are there actually natural seasons that alternate, that make you more or less likely to get particular enemies showing up, or is it truly just a random roll whenever you walk into a given room? I think more so that. Nab all that stuff. Plant some of this stuff.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're, as we were kind of talking about with some of the other resources we were picking up on that run, likely at the point with this stuff where we really don't need any of these things. We're just maybe selling them for more kudos. No one over here? I think that means that is pretty much it for now. I just want to double check real quick. The upgraded hammer. Yeah, gain 1 random hammer upgrade that lasts for 15 encounters. I had always assumed that that meant after the designated number of encounters, it would then change into a different hammer upgrade. And that is relevant if you continue to hold the hammer for multiple floors, which was why I was kind of confused as to why one benefited from increasing the number of encounters that you get the hammer upgrade for, because I was like, oh, okay, I mean, it just makes the hammer change less frequently, so It's more consistent, but it's not really making you stronger per se, but no, it does not work exactly in the way that I had initially thought. But now we've learned more. We now better understand how it actually functions, and since it lasts for 15 encounters, more or less means that you throw it on for one floor, you're going to have the bonuses for that floor, and then potentially most, if not maybe even all, of the subsequent floor as well. And obviously if you level it up one more time, then very likely will last for at least 2 full floors.
Hey, by the way, I meant to say nice going on occasion of achieving your objective and all that. You did achieve it, right? Show Kronos the what for?
Indeed.
I was able to defeat him, yes, Commander. But my ultimate objective is far from complete.
That's true.
Ah, well, that's objectives for you. Soon as one's complete, along comes another. But you are gonna keep knocking them dead.
Thanks, Skelly.
By your leave.
Alright. Well, mission accomplished on that run. Yeah, sure, as I was saying, obviously it's a zero fear run, so weren't really expecting to have that many insurmountable barriers, but oh man. I don't know how much fear we could have handled on that run, but with how strong that attack setup was, I imagine we could have handled... Oh, I don't know. Could we have done rival Kronos on that fight? I mean, maybe. I don't know. But anyways, that being said, this is the right time for us to wrap up here. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one.